Just answering questions. Summer Night Dream with Wabtech. Wabtech, you're misrepresenting quite a bit here. To the Stars Academy has said the Tic Tac video was released or taken years ago. Counterpoint. The person who provided them the stuff is a UFO advocate, not the goddamn DOD or anybody else. Unless you say that, you're ignoring a fact. It is formally released to them along with the other two videos. No, it was not. They said it was. No one in the military or the government has said anything about it, and their idea of authentication for it is laughable or comical. I mean, it's sovereign citizen level bullshit. It's not authenticated by the damn government. And again, one of the videos was created by students doing CG film work along with a bunch of other hokey stuff. They were doing stock footage stuff you would use in the background on computer screens or TV sets for movies. That would have been a heads-up display for a cockpit mock-up. Okay? Don't like the answer? I don't care. Next. You really are trying to discredit stuff without hearing all the evidence. I don't have to hear all the evidence. I found the source material they plagiarized. What evidence do I need? They won't acknowledge where the file came from. It came from a website that was run by a bunch of German students making freaking fake UFO videos for entertainment purposes to demonstrate that they could do them so they could do them for movies. They're college students doing movies. What part of I found the source file? The only reason you're doing this is they won't acknowledge anybody found it. I'm like the 80th person who's found the goddamn thing. Fravor didn't take the video. The flight after him took the video. It doesn't matter. The video you're talking about was a video that was created by somebody else, and it was not on any military thing, and it wasn't released by the military and has no authentication to it. None of the subject matter presented by To the Stars Academy checks out for one of the videos, and until they acknowledge purposely, overtly, yeah, we screwed up. Because again, archive.org still has the F4 MPEG file. People bitch for decades the government wouldn't release anything on UFOs. They did release it. They didn't release any information on space aliens. They released information on them attempting to track down where unidentified flying objects came from, and they found out most of the time it was just screw-ups on their part. Sometimes it was equipment they weren't willing to tell anybody about, until later when we found out, yeah, it was test flights or some drone they built. That was released too, but you don't see UFO fanatics telling you, oh, by the way, they did tests with what we now call autonomous drones a long time ago. They used analog computers and that sort of thing, but they were drones. You're making a mountain out of nothing. They refuse to acknowledge that they posted a falsified video. That's not nothing. That's proof that they lied and they won't acknowledge it. That they posted something that was faked as evidence and won't acknowledge it. When you don't acknowledge that you posted falsified evidence, then you did it on purpose, because now you're a liar. That's what I'm told. That's the standard you hold me to. If I put up a video that's supposed to be evidence of something, you assume that I'm doing it on purpose if I'm wrong, instead of just making a mistake. Okay, I'll do that to them. Is that fair? No? Why the fuck not? People bitch. Yeah, anyway. Now when people finally do release stuff, the U.S. government didn't release the file. What part of the U.S. government had nothing to do with this? The people who were involved are making that claim. The U.S. military and the U.S. government don't have to acknowledge anybody making a bullshit claim. Otherwise, they'd have to acknowledge every nut bar on the corner, like the guy across the street right now who's about to start singing some Sinatra music. Folks who think everything is a conspiracy go on the offensive. Actually, yeah, you guys do. Look forward to your concession video. For the umpteenth cocksucking time, they won't acknowledge that someone, me and a bunch of other people, found the original video. I contacted the webmaster, and he's the new webmaster. He doesn't know where the video came from, and even he said, yeah, it was a video uploaded by the students. He just doesn't want to get involved in this, because all he does is run the website where it was stored. I've left the information in the video you're commenting under. You can contact him. Admin at the name of the website. It's not that complicated. Are you going to do it? All those spooks wouldn't come forward to deceive the world using their own names, given their history of service, etc. The people you're talking about said things in such a way that they would not end up getting sued. They collect money for running a project, and most of it is to pay off one person's debt, given their history of service, etc. What history? Can you look it up? Half the people you're talking about are people who are discredited. Anyway, they're releasing more videos this year. They put out more presentations. They don't have any more videos. They're putting their integrity on the line with their information, and they won't acknowledge that the file was debunked. They won't acknowledge it because as long as they don't acknowledge anybody saying anything, they just act like you're a heckler. They put up a video that had nothing to do with what they were talking about, and they got caught. So their only option at this point is to act like no one pointed it out a dozen or more times. Are you willing to put your integrity on the line? Yeah, I did. Whoop-de-fucking-do. All I did was point to where the file came from and the time and date stamp for it. Prove it's identical file. Would you like to go look at the damn video again and ignore it? Nimitz, Tic Tac, Gimbal, Go Fast, UFO, Pentagon, Princeton, Stars, To the Stars Academy, Louis Alessandro, Robert Bigelow, and Tom DeLonge are horseshit artists. And no, it is not an official government release. There is no indication anywhere of that. Next, someone's response to another video I have. The original version of something came out in 1963. It was indeed 257 pages. It was not only about cataclysmic events and pole shifts. The main point of that book is about past ancient civilizations that have disappeared from our known history. So how do you know they happened? How do you know that information is available? Where did you get it from? I mean, I'm doing this blind here. I'm not even looking at it. I'll bring it up in a minute. It was, in fact, suppressed by the government until 1971, when it was declassified and released as a sanitized version, 54 pages. Counterpoint. I found the original. It was never suppressed. It was being released until the late 90s by bookstores, and it's a fantasy novel someone came up with. It has no new information, and it doesn't contradict history in such a way that would actually provide anything useful. This is the CIA classified postulate, The Adam and Eve Story, History of Cataclysms, Chan Thomas, 1963. That's it. It's something he put out in 1963. He didn't suppress any. Nobody suppressed anything. It was a book or pamphlet someone found. As for the 200 some odd pages, that's somebody else's rewriting of it, and they acknowledge. If you read the damn thing, it says this is based on his original 54 pages. The 54-page document is the only thing he put out, along with a couple of other things, including ESP. It's a fantasy work. It isn't suppressed history. You're full of shit. You are. You could just as easily have looked that up as I did. So I don't have to show respect to people who literally, persistently, ignorantly ignore facts. You can prove me wrong. Show a pre-publication date. Well, they suppressed it. No, they didn't, because the same goddamn thing has been. This is like saying that the Anarchist Cookbook is a banned book. You can get a copy of it at Barnes & Noble. You can go find it. You can say, do you have the Anarchist Cookbook? Yeah, it's over there on the shelf. And I will attest to the fact that it's the same damn one that everybody else passed around. And it's worthless, and it's mostly designed to get you hurt. Anyway, next. Yeah, the Adam and Eve story is just literally a story. He made up a story. It's a freaking novel. It's garbage. A lot of people put out the same crap at the time. Hidden history. There's even people who lie about this day. There are people lying about shit that happened within my living memory. They're saying I'm old. Anyway, next. I've watched a few more of your videos. Okay, maybe not chilling, but there is more to learn about this book and the full story. No, actually there isn't, because you can buy all the copies. They're not being suppressed, number one. Number two, again, it fucking acknowledged it was based on the short pamphlet. It was a short story. The guy's just farming it out, trying to find someone to buy it and pay him some money to make some, something cool to be a fry toy. Yes, you're bellowing loud and you're drunk off your ass. Congratulations, you've achieved the standard human basis of weekend warrior. Next, I apologize in advance for posting this here, and please delete this after you see it. Why do we? But this is fun. This is someone else, obviously. I have always been interested in fulgurites, and thought I'd learn of the otherwise two things, just historically interesting. Okay, now I'm going to explain this really very, very quickly, because this is one of the coolest things someone's brought up today. So I'm going to put in all the words here A fulgurite is sometimes referred to as, yeah, I love this, petrified lightning. A lightning bolt hits the ground and gets deep enough in it that the lightning bolt pattern forms a solid crystalline mass of rock and dirt. Basically, it turns into sand or non-volcanic lightning glass. It's lightning rock or something. I forget what the fire dragon rock. But anyway, here on Dragon Rock. But anyway, but you get the same thing if a power line hits sand, and it makes something very artistic and terrifying out of everything and everyone in freaking range. But anyway, fulgurite was just amazing. I forgot about these things. I found a few of them when I was younger, and I didn't know what they were. My dad just said, "Yeah, that's what happens when lightning strikes wet cement, or excuse me, wet dust, sand, in where we were." And oh boy, all I'm thinking is the amount of heat, because I knew how hot it was. You have to use to melt glass and fuse rocks and dirt and dust. And then another one is mercury fulminate. This is not related. This is an explosive. It makes well, you do something to mercury to make it an unstable compound, and basically you make it form. This is badly done. Long chains, not Lon Chaney's, or wherever, of molecules that, when they're exposed to any kind of stimulus, they snap shut. That, I don't know if that's correct. That's for nitrates, but I'm going to say it's the same thing, even though I don't know. But mercury fulminate is well, it's poisonous probably, but it's used for the ignitions for bullets. And then ball lightning, which of course brings up the next question, the next idea I'm going to come up with. But ball lightning is a phenomena that is now considered pretty much, we know that it happens. We just don't know what the frick to do with it. I mean, I'm a fan of the torus model for it forming, you know, basically a burning, you know, Homer Simpson flaming donut. But the other thing is, what would happen if ball lightning hit loose sand? Would it just form a bowling ball? Shower thoughts. So anyway, thank you very much for a useful and fun comment. And you don't want me to post it. The assholes want to be posted, but no. Somebody with something interesting or fun to look up. Fuck no. So let's review. The 1963 book you guys are talking about has never been suppressed, and it was boring, and none of you have read it. That's the other thing I know. Because none of you read the damn thing, or you would have noticed what it said in it. If any of you believe in this book by that guy, quote it. What does it say? You know what's funny? Most of the people talking about it misquote it. That's a lot like it's a Bible. Maybe you should call it a new religious article, because it literally is they misquote the damn thing while telling you about it. Well, it's suppressed. No, it's not. You can download it. Enough people got copies of it that it's been dumped. I included links to I don't know how many copies. I tried to find every one I could. And I'm going to do a video where I have it up on the screen and have the computer read the fucking thing, because it is, by definition, the original pamphlet, which is the original file. It wasn't something longer. Is in public domain, and no one can claim a copyright to it, which means it can't be considered some precious hidden thing. And I'm going to make sure it does weird, annoying Microsoft Bob voices for the fuck of it. Next, me misrepresenting To the Stars Academy would be mechanically impossible, because then I can do it. I'll do it. I will now misrepresent To the Stars Academy and all of it. They're totally not lying, trying to get money. He's trying to pay off his debts. He's an old musician. Maybe he's doing some other project. They're not revealing anything new. If you want to read all of this, look at all the declassified information concerning not UFO disclosure. That's not how you look it up. Reports of sightings of unidentified flying objects. They identify them, so they're not unidentified anymore. It's their job to try to figure out what they are. There's plenty of them they can't identify. That's interesting. But later on you find out with most of them, they were running a test that day and it went off campus. And sometimes hit sheep. Maybe that's where the cattle mutilation happened. It was just a helicopter.